Okay.
You want to introduce your show? I don't know what you guys call it necessarily.
Typically, this would be the jam. Today, we're doing an interview with James from Team IBB.
How's it going?
How's it going, man?
I will try to jam as best I can. So we'll go acapella.
Yeah, you have to, you got to now live to a high expectation.
Yeah, I did play in a band when I was hip and cool back in the day. So, but since retired, since married with kids, so
yeah,
in my mind, the band's gonna make it still. Still got time.
True, you still do got time. You're young.
I'm still a young whippersnapper.
Yeah, there you go. In that. Yeah, it's been a long time.
I know, man. We were talking about what, 2 years or so.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Time
I'm
flies.
glad to be back, man. Glad to be back. So, but thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem in that. So, want to start off sort of the basic overview of what you guys do?
Yeah. So, Team IBB is basically our main goal is to basically help people control what they can control, get a plan in place, and just not get burned. And the term, the phrase we use is stay burn proof. So that's like our tagline. So we just want people to stay burn proof directly through the financial planning that we do. So we help people with making financial decisions. But what we found over the last 12 years is we're coaching people a lot on indirect things, like things that we don't do ourselves, but trying to help them. How do they make the best decision? Do I take a student loan, or do I pay? Do I pay for tuition directly? Should I refinance my mortgage? I mean, there's a lot of things that we deal with, but ultimately, our obsession is planning and then goal set. Just setting goals that people want out of life. Because I feel like our industry is very guilty of only looking at the numbers and not looking up from the numbers on the desk and looking at the person and say, hey, what do you want out of life? And then let's tackle the financial things. So, but ultimately, the IBB, it stands for I've Been Burned. So for us, we each have our own story of how we got taken advantage of in the financial world. My mom had, she's my hero. She bought a daycare. She scraped and clawed. Never had any. She didn't even have a college degree or anything so. Just no business background, no anything. But she was very very passionate about education, specifically for early childhood. So it's Ridge Point Child Care, which is out on Old Johnny Cake Ridge, just by Red Wine and Brew and Lowe's out there. So, but I just kind of what happened is we had inherited some other accountants, advisors, and what happened is when I started doing what I'm doing now, we'll kind of get more to talking about education background. I'm in finance because I couldn't find a job out of college. It's not because I'm this financial whiz and this is what I've always wanted to do kind of thing, but ultimately couldn't find a job out of college, and finance is always hiring. I think it's 12% of people survive the first 2 years. So but I started understanding how things work, when you get your financial statements, what to look for and all that. So again, it was the best accident ever, was getting into finance and then realizing that we were getting taken advantage of. So that's, and I can't take credit. One of the guys who did branding for LeBron, I was on a flight back from Houston this was 2013. Okay. He's like, you need a brand, man. You need a brand. I'm like, what are you talking about? So that was one of the things that, and just for anybody listening too, if you're trying to make yourself stand out, in whatever class or industry or field you're looking to go into, the question he kept asking me is what makes you different, and I feel like you kind of got to go through the first 10 things you think make you different to find out what actually does. So for me, that, I told him, hey, I'm mad at finance. I wake up and I want to go, kind of save the day. I'm a big Superman, Batman nerd. I got my Batman socks on. Got my Superman watch. Now it's I try to be my reminder to be, super dad, super husband. Don't screw it up, But
True.
Really, just what makes you different was the big thing. And when I told him, my family got taken advantage of, it was the first time I didn't say no. That doesn't make you different. But they wanted, the little chin rub,
The gears got turned in there.
And he's like, IBB, and I'm like, what is IBB? And he's like, it stands for I've Been Burned. He's like, that one's free. The next one will cost you. So, so we got some. and you two don't know if there's. I'm hoping there's ways that I can help you guys, down the road, and just whatever, whether it's connecting you with the right person that I might know, but really just kind of putting yourself in a situation where, if you feel like there's some opportunity that like, hey, I like this person, they seem to know what they're talking about, and again, I told them, like, I don't have LeBron money, so can I buy you, I'll buy you the most expensive dinner that I can, and just, teach me. So I think a lot of times too, obviously being here at Lakeland, that's what it's all about is just teach me. I want to be, have that hunger for knowledge. And obviously too, I wasn't the best student. I had ADD to the off the charts kind of thing, so it's just, I literally have this thing like shocks me. So if I'm like if I find myself like drifting, I will literally shock myself. I have like a shock collar for myself. So I'm very committed.
I've been joking about that with people a lot.
It's a Pavlok. I don't even know if they still make it. I guess they went on Shark Tank and they just went off on him, said he was like a scam artist, but it works for me. It works for me. So
I've seen that.
At least it works for you.
Yeah. So like I said, he scammed everybody but me. So I'll take it. So just kind of again looking for opportunities and embracing what makes you different. I'm kind of going on a rant here, so I swear I'm going to tie it up. But there's the what we do, the story behind what IBB is, what it stands for. But we basically have 3 pillars that we operate on, and when we're building out a plan for somebody, it's the first pillar is life. What have you been through? And so that's a big thing too. We're talking about what makes you different. I feel like as humans, we try to hide what makes us different, and just try to I guess it's just more of, growing up, you want to be, the cool kid, or you want to fit in with your friends kind of thing. So I made that mistake back in the day,
or try to impress when you go back to that reunion in high school.
Yeah,
try to show, hey, I'm this success.
I'm very fortunate, man. I'm very, I was in the right place at the right time and with the right firm. So, for me, it's just been, I've just always been the guy, like, I am not smart. I don't know a lot of things, but I will outwork you. I will work harder than anybody to find, to get the answers. And so that's where too, again, it's a lot of trial and error and failure that's been involved in our journey. But that life pillar of what have you been through, what makes you different, helping people not get caught up. I always say delete the word should from your vocabulary, especially on the financial side, because it's like, even if you make a positive financial move and then someone says, well, you should have done this, it's like, well, I made a positive move, but now I feel guilty and bad about it. So just try and eliminate should from your vocabulary in general. But and then the second pillar is love. So who's it all for? So this is something too where I know it's easier for me now. Having my wife Erica is amazing, but that was kind of a game changer. If you look, so talking about success, I was quote unquote successful, but I was, if you looked at like as a whole in the financial industry, I was like middle, and I was feeling good in the middle. Everything was good, but James meets Erica, and it's just like a skyrocket for my business, because now,
you found a new mountain to climb.
Yeah, correct. So, but now I was making better decisions. So she was helping.
True.
I was more protective of my time. I had more, again, so that's it. Sometimes too, I don't know about anybody else, yourselves or anybody listening, but like for me, I had a very hard time making tough decisions when it was only going to affect me, because that was my whole thing, right? I'm Batman, like I was born to suffer, so just attaching your decisions, even for example, if it's something like, well, this isn't the best decision, but I'll work my way out of it, or it's just for now, identifying who in your life helps you make positive decisions, but more importantly, just decisions based on where do you want to go? Like, what do you want out of life? What's your end goal? Which is that third pillar is legacy. You have the life, love, and then legacy. And that's just really just how do you want to be remembered? You know what I mean? Like, that's where every decision we make, that's the end result. So we're trying to figure out what are people's plans. What do they want out of life? Who's involved? Who's it all? Who do they love? Who are we trying to protect? Who are trying to help grow? And then end of the day, that's we're trying to directly help them via finance, build the legacy they want, or indirectly, any way we can, just have the life they want, and then to be happy with it. You know what I mean? Like just kind of, I was very, very miserable being successful until I really started to dive a little deeper into like, okay, what does James want? What is actually going to make me happy? And
your personal goals.
Yeah. It's and that's I think too. Like I feel like again going back to that word should, and especially in the education system, I play in the band. I was willing to play in the band, live in grandma's basement forever. But I was helping out my mom's daycare, and I started seeing how much a daycare costs. I'm like, man, if I ever want to have a family, I really gotta figure something out here. So, but so again, just but that's actually how I met my wife. Me and my buddy would play covers and just play acoustic guitar, and just kind of I sold out. I used to only write originals. I only had original material. I was never gonna do a cover. Man, just it gets very. It's very difficult trying to make everybody else happy, and I feel like it's just it's like whose life are you living? So if you're living someone else's dream, it's eventually going to be your nightmare. And that's for me. I did everything the financial industry told me would make me, and I did it, and I was successful, but I was like empty. I did it. Was it Frank Sinatra? I did it their way. But
Technically, you would be correct.
Yeah. So, but. So I'm rambling here, man. So just
no, you're good.
Take this wherever it needs to go. Correct the ship. Do I need to shock myself? Is that
no? Well, no. It sort of makes sense because it's many people they're sort of afraid. They're trying to outdo whoever in high school. Like the best example, also, or say is my sister's husband. He was going because he just had his reunion, 10 years. Was it Saturday? Saturday or the other, week ago Saturday, one or the other, that he wants to go in, show everyone, hey, I'm this big success, blah blah blah, and that. What does it matter?
Yeah.
You go there, you be whoever. If you're more successful than whoever, cool.
Yeah, and Sarah Spence, she runs Spence Technologies, but she. On one of our YouTube videos, when we were interviewing her, one of her main things is define your success. And I feel like that's where, too, if your success is what you're doing, being in, like my success is being in this room with you guys. That's just something that I've always wanted to do. That's the whole, even with the book, and my whole life, I was just like, post school was I don't know anything about this finance thing, but one day I will, and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna share my story of failures so that hopefully somebody doesn't have to like fall down hard like I did. So, but defining your success, because really, end of the day, it's everybody else has their opinion, but they can go.
Because like her,
bite my tongue there.
She graduated a year or two in front of me, because she's Sarah.
Okay, yeah.
And because she's part now of the Western Chamber.
Yeah, so too. She was she was the president of I think it was 2 years ago. But and then she's been very without her, we wouldn't have been able to have had our Go Lake County golf outing the past 2 years. We took this year off. Gary and I both had our second children in February, and we're like, it'll be fine. And then you realize you realize how much more difficult it is with two kids. But we'll be back 2020, man. Go Lake County golf outing will be back, and so we're excited. But yeah, Sarah. If my daughter is a fraction of Sarah Spence, I've done my job as a father. So yes. You
have high expectations on yourself.
I do. Apparently, yeah. Like I said, just a fraction, not like just like. Yeah.
Well, regardless,
go
in a wheelhouse, but deep down inside, you're probably thinking just a little more than that.
Well, and that's one thing. Like, so I'm the oldest of four boys, and so I had my son JJ 2.5 years ago. My brother John had his son Jackson. So it was kind of like, okay. So there's been like no girls since I've been born on the one side of the family. So so we found out that Julia was going to be Julia. And I was like, oh my gosh, man, I don't even know I still don't know how to talk to girls, but just like, so I was like, well, if my wife and my mom and my I have a lot of great women in my life.
Yeah.
So basically, if she just does what they say, it'll be good. And I just pretty much gotta stay out of the way. So I'm here for support, but I don't know what to tell you. So.
Or well, a little more than support. Go ask them.
Yeah, right. Like ask mom. So yeah. So.
Besides that, you got a certain question?
Oh no! As I was seeing, you had written a book. If I don't know if you want to go on about any of that at all.
I will go on and on about whatever you tell me to, man. But no, the book's called "It All Starts with a Plan," and that was the phrase that my grandfather used. So like of the most, the kind of talking about pillars, like the pillar of our family. Growing up was my grandfather, and that was just always his thing. Like when my mom ended up getting when she wanted to buy the daycare, everybody's telling her again.
Yeah.
You should give up. Like you're not going to get a loan. You don't have any business experience. But ultimately, that's what he told her is it all starts with a plan. So we always talked about it all starts with a plan. So obviously that's why I've been, right now so this is my 6-year qualifying, but I'm top 6% in the world at what I do. And it's not because I came from the financial background. It's because I came from always have a plan and always set goals, always have a plan. That was instilled in me. So the whole goal of the book, like I said, was here's what I learned the last decade. I hope and I pray that you don't have to do it the way I did. So, and I would love to get your feedback on it too, but ultimately just like each section these are the main things I learned to be talking about successful in pretty much, in life in general, but also be happy. So again, trying to say, if I'm following my goals and I'm following my plan, then, you're going to have unhappy days, but as a whole, you're going to be a happy person when it's all said and done. So, but yeah, so and then like the little tagline is, burn-proof success through the fires of failure. So we always throw our team IBB, I've been burned stuff in there. But that's the thing is just hopefully my failures can help people avoid them.
Kind of dealing with the same sort of issues.
Yeah, and I think too it's like I'm not the only one that couldn't find a job out of college. I mean, I'm not the only one that had to start from scratch somewhere. But I think that I don't know. You guys tell me. I don't know. Like
it's been quite a few. It's even like one person right now. He actually was here at the station he hasn't found that IT job, but then he's now working at Cedar Point. Then he's now still in that. He's been at it for now a year.
Okay.
And that trying to find an IT job and that and doing it. He was just in. Wonder if he's still in town, but he was in town right now. Cleveland area and that, doing interviews yesterday and that. Besides people like after high school, it's a long list of, you get those people that they find that job. You got some people, they got to work their way. You got the ones that you can't find that job right out, after getting that piece of paper.
That was me. That was, I was like, just going, and what's wild is I hate my 06, 07 is when I interned in finance, and I hated it. And I'm like, I'm letting my licenses burn. Like, get me out of here. No way. But again, talking about in the book about finding the right fit, like the right culture to be around. But like, I just got lucky. I was going for a practice interview 12 years ago through the firm that we clear through now. Yeah. And I'm still practicing, still practicing my interview with them. So, but yeah, it just kind of, if you keep going, but it's just tough. And obviously the job market right now, it's just a complete 180. Like I didn't realize I was going into the second worst economic time period in 2000. I didn't.
Yeah.
I probably would have thought twice about doing it, but so I feel like for me, like there's kind of that whole, there aren't any jobs. just because of the scare, the Great Recession and businesses and companies were hurting. But now it's like it's hard to find a job because there's just you can pretty much get a job anywhere, but to get the job you want, it's just tough, man, because you're competing with everybody, even globally. Now now you're competing with people all around the world 24/7. So it's intense.
Yeah, that's like me starting here during that. It's like that's you hear people that they came back to school. I came back to. It was one I was talking out in the courtyard. He was a contractor and that lost his job and that he came back. To do that. Then, like, his family, him and his wife and kid, they were struggling. That they couldn't get even food stamps to help them unless they had to get divorced to be eligible for it. I know that is messed up.
Yeah, that's.
Why would they be coming for money if they had money to go get divorced?
I don't know, man.
Because that costs money.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, man. It's everything costs money. There's no truer line. Everything costs money. So again, it's not even about it's not about having all the money in the world. It's just being able to, when things get tough, to have something to fall back on. And if in the history of finance, nobody has ever said, "Oh no, it's in my savings account." So just when in doubt,
it's true.
Tuck it away in the savings, and then So everything costs money.
It's true.
Love it.
Well, that's kind of funny, like how I was going to go and sort of quote that, but you sort of quoted it of always that first job, it might not be that right fit.
Right.
It's almost like as a kid, you had that piece of wood, with the.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny now thinking of it, using this as an example that you have, the triangle, circles, and you're seeing there, and at first you don't put the right piece in the right spot. Yep.
And so that is, I give that example a lot, actually. So that's one of my favorite examples, because it's crazy. Like, we grow up and then we just complicate everything, but like that's really true. What it is like, you're a square, go in the square hole. But you're trying to be a circle. It's like, I'm a square, take pride, or like I'm a like just. You watch a little kid trying to put the triangle in the rectangle spot. It's just like, hey man, no matter what you do, that's not gonna work. So but it's hard when it's not that clear when it's like, but if you're unhappy, if you can't stand going to work and you can't, if you just, life is just miserable. It's like nothing changed. That's one of our, so like the gentleman that came up with IBB, another guy, Rick Sheezer, they run TG Spark, which they do a lot of the stuff behind the scenes for us. But like the one thing Rick talks about a lot is just like nothing changes until you change something. And it's like we wish and we want to make changes. It's like I'm unhappy, but it's like I'm just going to keep doing exactly what I do every day kind of thing. So I'm going to keep trying to put that square in the triangle, and pretend that I expect something different.
It's true. Especially, you hear people, and the one thing is, every once in a while when you go to work, it's going to be work because, whether you're down a few people because they're all sick and that.
Yep.
But you should have some kind of little bit joy. But every once in a while, it's going to hit that takeaway.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's just life.
Yeah, there's peaks and valleys, man. You're gonna the fulfillment. Like, even if it's hard work, but it completes you. No. It doesn't. In the moment, it's not fun. Yeah. But like at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you're like, you know what, that was hard. It sucked. There's a few moments there I wanted to quit, but mission accomplished, and now I'm feeling good. So.
But sort of going back to the book. After now actually reading it,
walk me through that, man. I always love to get feedback just to make sure I'm on the right track here too.
Many of the examples are like dead on.
All right,
I gotta admit they're definitely that school of hard knocks every once in a while. But you definitely, it grabs you that it sort of says, I see it. That's something you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the book should come up and smack me if I go and do that.
It's a pop-up book. Just jumps on.
I know.
Yeah.
That would be kind of funny. But you could always do it with technology. Have a robotic arm and have it with you with the book that just goes and
out, smack you.
bam.
That'll be the next version. That'll be it all
Comes
starts
with a
plan.
robot
Yeah, it comes with a
arm.
robot. Yeah, yeah. We're working on it behind the scenes.
But it's especially sort of with going for the entrepreneurship degree here.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of in that same basis of those examples. It sticks in your head that when you're sort of doing something, it's like, this is sort of similar. Then you just get that thought in the back of your head. It's like, okay, I need to think about this. Yeah. Maybe going down that road's not the best idea.
Yeah,
it's true.
And that's where entrepreneurship and there's I think the term Sanjay Parker. He's we're in the collab in downtown. We'll be with him too. But just brilliant guy. But the term he used during one of our masterminding meetings was intrapreneurship, and that's kind of where I'm at. Where I'm not completely 100% entrepreneur. It's not all on me. I do have a team.
A team.
But it's frightening, man. When it's exciting. I'm my own boss. But there's days you wake up and you're like, oh crap, I'm my own boss. I
got to do all that paperwork and be there for 10 hours.
Yeah, and that's where too, just kind of. But it's again tying it, working. I never want to go back and work as many hours as I did. I worked every single day, 12, 15-hour days minimum. Just I remember, being at the office till 2, 3 in the morning just to be back at 7. Just kind of. But it, for me, I was fighting for something. I felt I was fighting for something that I believed in. So I feel too, it's just, entrepreneurship. It works when you're fighting for something you believe in and you're willing. Even if you don't, I had $18 in my checking and $50,000 in student loan debt when I started. So it wasn't I couldn't even have, I couldn't even really build out a true financial plan, but I could build out. All right, here's the fundamentals, the foundation of what I'm gonna do, but why? Because I want to help people and I want to put them in the right direction. So it's worth.
It's sort of like you formed sort of the basic part of the business plan.
Correct.
But then the other segments just came in their time.
And you can never predict what.
Yeah.
You mean if you look at it? The IBB. I met a random guy. I was flying standby, and we missed the flight we were supposed to be on. So it's random seating, random flight, and he just while I was waiting, I ordered a new phone. While we were waiting for our flight, he just had that phone in his hand. So the conversation started. How do you like your phone? So had I not said how do you like your phone, there'd be no IBB, and I don't even know where I don't even know if I'd still be in finance because it was IBB. Helped me realize how personal it was always personal to me, but I couldn't really I couldn't put it into words. I couldn't really put my finger on it kind of thing. So but there's gonna be these constant random things. There's a lot of opportunities that I've went for and got burned, but there's a lot of things that have backfired and one of it's Keith Cunningham. He works with Tony Robbins, Business Master, but he's got a book called The Road Less Stupid. But one of my favorite lines from him is all my problems started as a good idea. So a lot of times too, but if you you're saying if you have the plan, you get that good idea, and it might be a good idea, and you just keep rolling with it. You get that good idea, and you're like, oh man, that good idea was not so. Don't give up when your good ideas turn into struggles kind of thing. So
then it's that other thing of, well, this seems sort of good, but I don't know. Then you sort of write it down, then you run across that random person, throw it at them, and then they go and say, yeah, that's not a bad idea, but you should also, throw in this.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't know, for me, just kind of, I'm a firm believer action is the best medicine. So if you all the greatest plans ever made, a lot of them never came to life because You write. It's fun to write out plans.
Yeah.
It's fun to write out goals. Like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna accomplish that, and we're gonna do this, but then it's terrifying to make that first phone call or send that first email. Like, just it is. Don't ask me. It's just us being human. It's like we still think that saber-toothed tiger is gonna come bite our heads off if we make that tough phone call.
Valid.
So.
Yeah.
Like the best example was like the station website. Everyone kept on going and say, "Hey, let's create this," and everyone kept having an issue. Oh, well, try to put video in that. It keeps, not loading or that. And, it always went from priority, back, forth. Then finally, at some point in time, it's like, I'm going to take a stab at it and that. I don't know and that. Then it's like, start doing it. And it's like, oh wait, this is sort of working, but it's only public.
Sort of working is still working.
Yeah.
That's progress still.
Then it's
something
like
that I read. It was something to the effect of anything worth doing is worth doing poorly.
Yeah.
So like, hey, at least you have something.
Something. Yeah, man.
Then more tweaking with it, and it's like in the preview thing. Oh, it's working. Then it's like, well, I'm not going to spend them or have us spend the money. I'm going to go post underneath this random link that no one will be able to figure out, and that just to see, as public or published, will it work?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, great, it's working.
Yeah, and you got it. Yeah, too. If you're doing something for the first time, it is gonna be done poorly. You know what I mean? Like that's where again, it's I was awful at what I do, like for a long time, because I just didn't have any background. But it's again going back to following your plan, but like putting into action, being willing to. My wife says I talk too extreme when I'm talking about running your own business and like just being out in the real world, the career, whatever you want to call it. But it's like I wake up every day to go to war for my clients, try to help them come out. I want my clients to win. You know what I mean? And like that's a win for us is when our clients win. It doesn't matter what happens. We have to just make sure we're doing the right thing for them. But I always say it's like waking up every day to go to war and then accepting the fact you're going to get drop kicked in the face multiple times every day. You know what I mean? So just you're gonna get bashed in the face, and you just gotta keep going. So, yeah, you can shed a little tears. It's okay. It's okay.
No, I get it. But yeah, that was like a 3-year struggle, going back and forth with. And trust me, I'm not no web designer. I didn't know squat of that.
Yeah. But now you do.
To a point.
To a point, yes.
Am I, that one? No.
Yeah.
More, down that chain.
Yeah.
Which I think there's a lot to be said. Just how like you guys right now, you're working as a team. There's it took me a long time to realize, my job's not to make Gary me. I'm not supposed to make Reed me. I'm not supposed to make Mike me. I'm not supposed to make the rest of the team James Schleicher. I'm supposed to make Gary the best Gary possible. And like I feel like, man, you have to, again, just talking about, you have to be okay with being open and honest of like, hey, I can do this, but I'm not very good at it. So that's where utilizing your team to let them shine at what they're good at too. You know what I mean? It's like
everyone
it's okay
has their own
strengths
and weaknesses.
Yeah, it's people talk about it, but it's hard even for me. Like it's we do a lot of these leadership summits. I was a couple weeks ago, we did a leadership summit out in Ashtabula County. It was like 400 or 500 kids, and so it's like I'm up there talking about leadership and choices and life, love, legacy, blah, blah, you know what I mean? And then, but at the same time, it's like I got to go back and I have to remind myself of, making the right decisions, right choices, just on a day-to-day basis with my team, with my family. It's just hard, man. It's hard. It's just hard doing the right thing. The right thing is the right thing, but it's always the most difficult thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah,
like everyone once in a while, people think, oh, it would be cool. Let's say, or every once in a while, someone, back in the day here at the station, oh, I want a flamethrower. Well, why would you need a flamethrower? Then someone goes and looks at me, well, it would be good to go and clean my driveway with.
There you go.
Yeah,
All
like
right.
in the winter.
The
Get rid of the snow and whatnot.
There you go, man. I'm instead of a snowblower. I mean, actually, so Sanjay Parker I was talking about before at the collab for the ribbon cutting for the city, he didn't use the scissors. He actually has a flamethrower. It's called not a flamethrower, but it's like he's a big Tesla guy. But it was one of those things where they made 500 of them, and then he got one of them. So, dude, it was. We were standing behind him as it was hot, man. It was legit, but it will, yeah. So the flamethrower, I don't think I'll ever own one, but I have seen it in action. But yeah, for wintertime is think about that. Like just again, using creativity to go do that same thing. It's like, make the mundane things fun and the fun things more fun. ... legally, that's always my disclaimer. But I would love to go, get the snow off my driveway if I had a flamethrower. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
it's better than
with
a shovel.
With a shovel, no. You're gonna pull me outside kicking and screaming with the shovel. With the flamethrower, I'm already there, man. So probably burning the neighborhood down. So probably not a good idea, but
yeah, and the neighbors would be huge on it. Why has he got that?
The neighbors. The cops might get called on me.
Yeah.
So.
Especially here in East like that, someone when they had the cops calling over a snowblower being used. So they cleaned their sidewalk of their neighbor, and their neighbor didn't want their sidewalk cleaned. And that was a huge fight over that.
There you go. That's exciting.
So.
Home ownership. Yeah, home ownership. That's good. There's all kinds of stuff can never plan.
Do you have any other different upcoming things?
So like the workshops and some seminars. We haven't set any exact dates, but we got the whole template together. But kind of get a little sneak peek into it is basically our plan is to have a monthly seminar and really just kind of go through, like, it's not the book exactly, but really go through again the those life, love, legacy pillars, but really diving in the beginning into just psychology, just like how your brain works and how, just kind of, again, talking about that saber-toothed tiger that we're instinctually programmed to just be afraid all the time. You know what I mean? So I think that, and for me, it's a lot of it's, me diving. It's not going to be like, hey, you should do this. Let me know how it goes. We're going to be talking about stuff that we've been through. There's another the gentleman, Rick Sheezer. He's going to be pretty much running it. But I'm excited because there's just, again, there's so much stuff, whether it be like, so I started meditating, start doing yoga, like just stuff. I'm like, I don't have time. First off, I would never do it. And then I don't have time, but just like, and then just, there's a book called, I think it's The Power of Neuroplasticity, but it's just basically how we used to think that your brain is, once you're an adult, there's no change. Like you are who you are, and there's no changing it. Obviously, like your personality, there's certain things that don't change. So again, be yourself. You don't want to change who you are, but just kind of the way you think and the way, again, just
occasionally you do and all that. Every once in a while, I change things I do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's.
Yeah.
You're always, life's gonna change, but ultimately, again, circling back to until you decide, I have to change. Like it's like the world's not happening to you. It's just, it feels like it. It feels like, why is the world against me? But no, we're excited for that, and basically, the end result is we want people to build a plan, to control what they can control, and just be happy, man. Just be happy. And if that, talking about legacy, like that's been my dream come true, because we did do a few kind of test run seminars and workshops, but that's just my dream, man. My dream was to again be here with you, be speaking to the high schools and colleges that we talked to. It was cool. Like I saw Jim Tressel speak here. I think it was 2015.
Yeah.
And then last year, I'm a liar. I think it was earlier this year. So ever since I had kids, man, my brain is like.
No,
fried.
that's like I thought too. Because it was on a Saturday, or was it Friday? One or
I think it was
other.
a Friday.
No, I know that. I think it was 2 years. I want to say.
Maybe. Can we get some facts? Can we Google it? Factoid checks. But
no, the one advisor for the station that was over here, he was working and had come over to help set that up.
Oh, awesome.
The IT stuff. And he was telling me, yeah, I got to meet Tressel, shake his hand and that.
Yeah, man. No, Tressel's awesome, man. He, but yeah, it was cool. Me and Gary got to share the stage with him at one of those leadership summits. It was at Youngstown State University. It was just, again, 400 or 500 local high school, middle school stuff. But just, yeah, man, I don't know. That's the one line that is me is there's a poem called Success, in which the irony is I was obsessed with success, and being obsessed with success got me success, but I was miserable. I mean, I was living someone else's dream. I was doing it I was living my life other people's way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the one line in that poem by Ralph Waldo Emerson is, to know one life has breathed easier because you lived. This is to have succeeded. So I feel like, that just helps me when you say, hey, come on board, can you come in? If I'm getting on the count, I'm not thinking like, well, I don't know, man, I'm kind of busy, or I don't know what to talk about. I mean, like, yeah. But it's just, I don't know, man. Hang with you guys. That's the whole point,
Well, that's like us. We can always go and say, hey, do they have something new? All that, or no, what they have behind going on the scenes. That's why we always, every once in a while, the off, thing, talk about, hey, is there other certain things you got coming on and stuff?
Well, yeah, it's, so there's always, there's some more stuff. Like I said, the collab, definitely, if you're in downtown Willoughby, check out the collab. There's Sanjay Parker, his company Notion's in there, Ross Salvatore Real Estate's in there, there's the Natural RX with Lauren DeLandy. It's hard to describe what she does, but basically just kind of how we're trying to get the roadblocks out of the way for people's goals, and again, more directly financially. She's kind of like, here's your vision, here's your goal, you're here, and then she kind of helps you like figure out what's going on inside you to get to remove those roadblocks and get to the life you want to have, the person you want to be, kind of thing. So she's doing, and then we'll probably collaborate with her. It's a collab, so we'll collaborate on everything. But she's gonna be doing monthly vision board get-togethers, and there's no cost to it. It'll be so definitely. I'll have to get more info on it, but there's a lot of stuff in the works that we're probably working on together, and also Perfect Keto. I don't know if anybody's doing the keto diet, but Perfect Keto, their finance director works out of there. So, but yeah, keto, I've lost 40 pounds doing keto.
Yeah, it definitely works.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But the intermittent fasting, like you only eat. I think you can do it differently, but it's like you only eat between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. or 12 p.m. and 8 p.m., man.
That's my normal thing anyway when the semester's happening.
Yeah, so you're doing keto, I don't even know it, but yeah, man, it's been kind of, so I think there's health and wealth are two things that affect everybody. So I think that will be another big part of what we're trying to do moving forward. I am not a nutritionist. Just because I do keto, talk to your doctor, but my blood, I was pre-diabetic. So when I was in here a couple years ago, I was pre-diabetic. And I started, there's what's called like the bulletproof diet, like bulletproof coffee and all that. So that started that. And then gradually I got into the keto stuff. But last month, got my blood work back. I'm actually, so there's like that standard range for your blood sugar, for your glucose. I was above it, pre-diabetic, and now I'm like one number below it. So just kind of what's cool, I lost the weight, but it's like internally everything's still, my cholesterol is perfect, so just kind of I was stressed. I'm like, I'm eating a lot of cheese and a lot of beef. Am I okay? So I'm like taking this, but that.
No, you're good.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I just think that any way that we can help others grow, and I'm always like, Sheezer talks. I'm always like the test dummy. Like I'm always the test. Like if there's something new that I think that can help me just get more out of life, help my clients better, I'm always willing to try something new. And I think if there's anything that can leave you guys with, it's just like, don't worry about doing it poorly. Just worry about doing it. Because it might be that next thing that gives you a level up on whatever else you're trying to do. So
competition, whether a job, life, some experience.
Dude, like we were talking about this before, is if you are not competing, like it. Yeah. I'm very competitive. I got 3 younger brothers. Like we still fight over dumb things. Like we still like. We're just still very, very competitive. It was just you always like you're fighting for that last scrap of pizza. It just kind of like everything was a competition. I think that's the only. I shouldn't say it's the only reason I've succeeded in the business world, but like everybody's trying to get your job. Everybody's trying to get your next promotion or whatever it might be. So. If you only have 24 hours a day, you only got one life. So if you can get up an hour or two earlier and start, like that guy, the guys, the TG Spark guys are like, just focus on being the LeBron of finance. Like you're trying to do all these cool things. Just be the LeBron of finance. And for you, it's just be the LeBron of whatever it is. And embrace it, but like LeBron's not sleeping in. LeBron is not,
he's out there.
He's the most disciplined person on the planet. You know what I mean? So like, just I'm trying to say this without going on a super rant, but yeah, man, you can be
the best of what you're precisely going after.
Yeah, if you're gonna do something, it's not even about being the best. It's about giving yourself a chance. So if you're not number one, but you're number 2 or 3, like in the world, you're like, okay, I guess you can deal with that. But
oh darn,
rats, fiddlesticks. But cool. But no, if there's anything, it's very competitive out there, and again, it's not about wishing ill will on others, but you're gonna have the next. Even in the book, talk about like that 50-year life plan that former CEO of Shell Oil Company told me. He's like, you should have a 50-year life plan. I'm like, dude, you're crazy, So like, but it did put things in perspective. It's like I don't have forever. I feel like you just kind of you feel like you have forever, and that's why it's like I'll get to it. I'll do it tomorrow, kind of mentality. But just to be cliche and have that 30-year window of work or business or being an entrepreneur, whatever it is, you can have 30 years into whatever that is, but only 1 year experience, meaning that like you didn't get, but you're still the same person doing the same thing for 30. So you have 1 year's experience.
Yeah.
Or you can each year try to reinvent. Keep the things that work, keep the things that are positive, but like.
Well, that's almost like for me, try to form a 10-year business plan. Not everything you're going to get done in a matter of like 10 years. Yep. It might be some things that come quicker. It might be some things might take 15, 20 down the road.
Yep. Yeah, man, but it's you got to have that plan, man. You got to because then it's just your short-term decisions mean something when it's taking you somewhere else. I definitely, like I said, I never want to go back to the first 5 years of what I had to do and all that. So, but I'm rambling. What else we got going on?
Well, It's actually about time for us to try and wrap that up.
Wrap it up, B.
So, do you have any websites or social media that you can?
Yeah, so you can follow me anywhere. IBB James.
Okay.
And then there's IBB Gary, IBB Reed, IBB Mike. But teamibb.com is our website. So again, TEAMIBB.com, and that's where you can, even if you want to schedule a time to chat with us, there's a little button. We're just looking to help, anything we can do to help. But and then that's where we'll have like more of the seminar workshop stuff, and then our YouTube channel. We're starting to get that rolling again. So the Team IBB YouTube channel.
Okay.
And that's probably the best two ways to kind of figure out what in tarnation are these guys all about.
I know you guys are like everywhere.
We try, man. We try.
Not like, the Lake Tran buses you see.
Those Lake Tran buses, best money spent on advertising. It's a great deal. It's actually through Eagle Advertising, and it's Morgan Litho, which Morgan Litho is not a person. It was the Morgan Lithogram company and all that. They're friends of it. They're great people. Eric Fellows is one of the main guys. He'd be a good person to have on here for sure. So he just went through Leadership Lake County's community builders and all that. But yeah, so I cannot say enough about advertising on the Lake Tran buses, and vote yes on, was it issue 2 for Lake Tran or something like that?
That was 2.
Yeah,
I think so.
pretty sure. Google it. Make sure you support Lake Tran.
Yeah. So I know Willoughby's like somewhere down there too. There's so
it's the blue sign with the big 2, I think. So
very nice. But it's been a pleasure having you on, man.
Yeah, it was nice having you on here.
Thank you. Appreciate it. But anything that we can do to support you guys, help promote you guys, let us know, because this is fun. Thanks for letting me hang out. And
it's
ramble.
always a pleasure. Well, it's not rambling. It was educational.
Yes.
All right. Cool. We got something out
you
of
have to shock yourself at least yet.
Yeah.
You have to wait till later.
Yep. I'll probably give it an hour or so. Start shocking myself.
There you go.
Get back in the game.
All right. This has been an interview with James from Team IBB on the Jam. We usually have a flavor of the day every week. So do you have one that you'd like to give for us today?
A flavor of the day? Just like...
Yeah, jam.
A jam? Dude, I've really been into Pierce the Veil, their Collide with the Sky album.
There you go.
That gets me fired up to go rock. I'm like blasting it when I'm getting ready to go each day. But there's also That's Life by Frank Sinatra. And I'm just... that's been my flavor because I saw the Joker movie. And
I still haven't seen it yet.
Okay, so go see it.
Definitely plan.
Definitely go see it. It's really good.
All right. Well, I hope everyone out there listening has a good weekend, good week, whatever, and catch you next time.